Unit 8. That's really interesting. Reading. In this unit, we talk about hobbies. Hobby is an activity that someone does for pleasure when they are not working. I've got lots of hobbies. One of my favorite hobbies is taking photos. I like taking photos of places or everyday things. I will talk about the steps of taking photos. First, I find something to take a photo of. Then, I get the camera ready. Next, I press the button to take the photo. Finally, I put the photos on the computer and print them. I just told you how to do my hobby. I told you each step. Now, we're going to read a passage about the steps of another person's hobby. Please get your textbook ready and turn to page 134. Look at the title and the graphics. What do you think this task is going to be about? We are going to learn about a hobby called letterboxing. From the title, hide and seek, we guess that when people do letterboxing, they have to hide and find something. What is it? Can you get some clues from the photos? Yes, you are right. When people do letterboxing, they hide a box and others have to find it. After reading the whole passage, let's list the steps that people take to do letterboxing in this flowchart graphic organizer. We will read the passage twice. We read the passage for comprehension in the first time, and then read again for finding the steps that people take to do letterboxing in the second time. We will listen to the passage and please read along while listening. Don't forget to use the graphics on this page to help you visualize what you are reading. Are you ready?
Hide and seek. Letterboxing is a fun, outdoor hobby. Here's how it works. People hide a box. Inside the box, they put a rubber stamp and a notebook. They post clues on websites to help you find the box. Then, you look for the letterbox. You need to have your internet clues, a pen or pencil, your notebook, and a rubber stamp. You may need a map and compass too. When you find the letterbox, you look for the notebook inside. Then you write your name, hometown, and the date. You press your rubber stamp on the page. Then you take the stamp from inside the box and stamp it in your own notebook. Finally, you wrap the box carefully. You leave it where you found it for another person to find. Dory and her mum love letterboxing. On their last holiday, they used clues to find a letterbox. Her mum read one clue, "Pass the apple tree on your right." Then she read the last clue, "Keep your back to the tree and take 4 steps." Dory took 4 steps. There it was. It was a plastic box hidden under some stones. Dory read the notebook to see who was there before her. She added her name and stamp, and then used the stamp from the letterbox on her notebook. Dory wants to go letterboxing again. She says, "I love reading mysteries and solving problems."
The writer shares a hobby called letterboxing in this passage. He organizes the information on how to do letterboxing with a sequence. Sequence provides a series of steps. And when he does that, he is teaching readers the steps of doing letterboxing. You see, one step leads to another. So that's why the arrow is really important for thinking about this structure. It helps us look at a step and how each step leads to next one. Some keywords that can help you see steps when you are reading. You might see first, second, to show you which step order it is. You might also see next or then, because they will lead you to the transitions from one step to another. Sometimes you might also see during, before, or after to show that when the step is gonna be happened. You might also have one kind of signals at the end, like finally or at last. Now pause the video and read the paragraphs again and list the steps that people take to do letterboxing in this flowchart graphic organizer. After you're done, come back and check the answer. Let's see if we can find some of the keywords that help us identify the sequence of doing letterboxing. The steps of doing letterboxing is notified by these signal words. Here's how it works. Can you see the punctuation colon right here? The colon is used to separate these two clauses when the second explains the first. The writer would like readers to know that he is going to state what people do for letterboxing. So the first step is people hide a box. And the following sentence is just the elaboration, so I treat it as one step. And here is the next step. After that, the following step is signaled by the word then. And these two sentences are about what you need to have when you do letterboxing, so they're nothing to do with the steps. Again, here are some signal words. Obviously, it tells you what you need to do after finding the letterbox. So the next step of letterboxing is finding the notebook inside the box. The following steps are signaled by the keywords then. So right here are the other two steps. And then we are signaled to the last step of letterboxing by the word finally. For the rest of the content, the writer writes about how one of the letterboxers called Dory and her mom find the letterbox and why she likes doing this activity. Therefore, it's not about the steps of doing letterboxing. If we look back through this, we will see there are 7 steps. And that's how a writer uses a sequence to lead from one step to the next. And oftentimes he might use some signal words to show the steps. Therefore, when you are reading this kind of step structure, you just have to aware that you are moving from one step at a time. Okay, it's time to write down the steps in the flow chart. Oh, but we got a problem here. There are 7 steps for doing letterboxing, but now we only got 6 boxes. What should we do then? It's easy. We just have to combine some of the steps together. Let's take a look at all of the steps. Most of the steps are important and they should stand alone, but I found this one is comparatively less important, so I'm going to combine these 2 steps to one. Here is the completed flow chart. You should find that I didn't copy all the words to the chart. Since the graphic organizer is a tool to help us organize and visualize the ideas that the writer shared in the passage, We just have to state the brief idea instead of copying every single word. After reading this passage, do you feel interested in this hobby? If you do, you can go to this website for further information. By reading the passage, we learned a new hobby called letterboxing, and we learned how to talk about the steps of a hobby and how to put the sequence of steps in order. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something from it. See you next time. Bye bye.